Hello everyone. Welcome to this session that we have next to Tailwind and Semrush. Today we want to share a lot of information with all of you. I'm here next to Alisa Meredith, an expert in Pinterest and in digital marketing as well. Hi Melissa, how are you?
Hey, Fernando. Great. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. We have so many things to share, and let's
Mhm.
start from a global perspective, how content marketing, social media platforms are working overall. And let's say when we are talking about data, we need to talk about tools. That's why we are having this webinar next to Tailwind and Semrush. And who is Semrush? So this is us. We are the leading online visibility platform for SEO, content marketing, marketing research, social media, and many other features that we have inside. We are all over the world. Actually, I'm based in Prague, but these days I'm in Ecuador, in the city called Quito. And Meredith is in North Carolina. Yes, I noticed that as well because you have a good weather, the same I had here. And of course, we are working a lot with data. This is me, I'm Fernando Angulo. If you want to reach out to me through Twitter or just send a message or ask a question, feel free to do it. So let me give you some hints about the data that we are going to be showing you right now. So we have analyzed 600,000 tweets, then hundreds of thousands of search queries, the most popular ones related to content marketing and social media and all other skills. And we have analyzed as well around 1.5 million blog posts. So that's the core of this research, the data that we have. But we also mixed that to compare how the data is showing the results and how people are replying to our questions, because we also had a survey. We surveyed 1,500 marketeers across the globe, digital marketers, professionals, practitioners who are working with content marketing in 2020. So this data is really important for 2021. And let's start with the top 20 hashtags more used with the content marketing hashtag. So let's talk about the top 3 for each category. You can see all the information. I'm going to be sharing a link at the end as well. So the top 3. Number 1, digital marketing. So content marketing fit very well to digital marketing. Easy, right? Second one, marketing. But the third one is the most important one, which is SEO. So content marketing and SEO, they mix together. People were talking, were sending a lot of tweets with content marketing and SEO as well. And then you can see the rest of the results with a less percentage. So only having more than 50%, we have digital marketing, and SEO. Content marketing and SEO, a good mix. So to create this report, let me tell you a little bit more about the tools that we use in order to create this report. So the first one is the content marketing platform in Semrush as well. So we have a set of tools only designed for content creation, content audit, for content promotion, so you can track all the things that you can have for publishing your materials, your topics. Then we have Keyword Magic Tool. This is the core of Semrush, because we have here the knowledge and the volume and the CPC, the cost per keyword, the cost per click for around, it's going to be right now 33 billion keywords or more. So the third tool is traffic analytics. So we have been analyzing all the sources, social media, direct traffic, organic traffic, paid traffic, to understand what is the source of success of companies, right? And the last tool that we have used is the social media tracker. So here we've analyzed all the information with the data from those companies that we took. Most of them, they had Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also Pinterest. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So let's go to the core of the data. Content marketing trends for 2020. Let's talk about the top 20 most discussed topics that include the hashtag content marketing. And the number one, Yes, you can see it, is strategy. So when someone was having a discussion about content marketing, the main related hashtag was strategy. So content marketing and strategy was really discussed on social media, then with SEO as well, then with social media. So content marketing, strategy, SEO, and social media. Then you can see the rest. Let's see about the links and the visual content that were included in tweets with content marketing hashtag. So overall, 88% of the tweets that we have analyzed, they contained an image. So the usage of images was mandatory, 88%. Then you can see and just an image or different images. Then you can see a large image or an infographic. Like, what about the links? So tweets with links. Here is the result. 90% of the content marketing hashtag shared on Twitter, they contained a link. So it was mandatory also to use a link. If you are talking about content marketing, you need to show an image and share a link. That was the trend. Let's see the top 20 content marketing influencers on Twitter. Let's talk about the top three. So these are the guys that you need to follow in order to be at the top of the knowledge and the last update on content marketing. The first one, Neil Schaffer. He's one of our academic professors as well. Then you have Ben Kamal Digital and Mike Schemer. So these three people, these three professionals in Twitter are the main influencers with the hashtag content marketing. Then you can see the rest of them. We have Jeff Bullas, Joe Pelosi. You can see Rebecca Radis and many others. What about the top 20 Google search queries related to content marketing? So we are moving on right now from social media to the search engine. And we love search engines, right? So this is basically Google. So we have the top three from the list here. The most popular search query related to content marketing is content marketing strategy. And you remember, people were sharing, they were having this discussions on Twitter with content marketing and the hashtag strategy as well, right? So they were trying to search that on the search engines as well. Then you can see content marketing agency, and the next one is content marketing examples. So content marketing strategy is a good one. What about the questions that people asked to Google related to content marketing? So first one, it's the most obvious one, what is content marketing? Then why is content marketing important? And the last one, what is content marketing strategy? Talking about the strategy again. So let's talk about some takeaways. The first takeaway that we can take here is that strong interest in content marketing strategy, and basically because it's difficult to have a really strong strategy in content marketing. You need to have different tools, then steps, then goals for achieving your strategy, then your plans. Then we can see that one of the most important things that companies were doing was to promote their content on social media with a link and with an image, which was mandatory, and still it is for this year. Then we saw that SEO and content marketing are together. People were searching about that. People were having conversations about content strategy, content marketing, and SEO as well. Then you need to think about, if you are talking about content marketing, you need to have at least some knowledge on analytics and getting some knowledge about technology, because those two aspects are getting very serious. You have tons of tools, tons of analytics to just import, to export, and to analyze. So you need to get there as well. Automation and outsourcing are here. You can use both, and everybody likes visuals. Images are everywhere. Let's go to the next part of this research, which with the most expensive keywords. So in the top 20 most expensive keywords related to the content marketing industry, so when people were advertising their materials, The the most expensive keyword, it was content strategy conferences 2020. So basically, all the events since March last year, they went online. Offline events are now something very rare. Basically, we don't have any offline events yet. The prices for content strategy, remember social media, remember the search engines, content strategy conferences are the top in the list, the most expensive one. Then you can see B2B content marketing agency, the second one. So people hiring agencies, and then content strategy conferences. Still, conferences and content marketing are the most expensive ones. So the pandemic didn't extinguish the interest in content strategy conference. They are in the top of the most expensive keywords. So that means there is a lot of competition over there. Then you can see that B2B companies are interested in automating and outsourcing the content creation. That's something that anyone can use. There is a strong demand in solutions like, for example, keyword research and analytics. So if you are, if you want to work with data, you need to use some tools. What about the anatomy of performing content, the best performing content? And here you can see just the numbers. So long reads are the winners. Long text between 3,000 and 7,000 words gets two more times page views and 24% more shares than articles of average length, something between 900 and 1,200 words. So long reads are the ones that are getting more views and more visits. 7,000 word articles drive almost four times more traffic than articles of average length between 900 and 1,200 words. So that's something that you need to take care as well. Short posts, something between 300 and 900 words, they gain only 21% less traffic and 75% less backlinks than articles of average length 900 or less than 1,500 words. So short articles 300 and 600 words are shared three times less than long reads. How we know this? So we have different data that I'm going to be showing you in my next slide, because visual content is also very important, not only because of the data, but because of people, but also because of attracting backlinks from other websites. So post with one image get twice as much traffic as posts containing text only. So nobody loves big wall of text. They want to see some images. So this also gets to 30% more shares and 25% more backlinks. Posts with 7+ images get 4 times more traffic than articles containing just text. So be sure that you have not only plain text, but at least 1 or 2 or 7+ images. Posts that don't contain a video get 92% less traffic and 24% less shares than posts with at least one video. So be sure, images, but videos are also the big thing here. Videos are the game changer when we're talking about visuals. So let's see the numbers. You can see here the raw data. So content length, articles between 300 and 600 words, they are in the top of the list with less page views. And at the bottom, you can see 7,000 and plus words. They have more views, like 302 in our example here in our experiment. Shares, and the same is happening with shares and backlinks. You can see you have more shares and you have more backlinks between more words, less words. Then you can see non-share articles by length. So people are not sharing articles that are really small. You can see the top of the list, 300, 600 words, 59% less shared than the ones that have more than 7,000 words. What about the headlines? So the headlines are really important, and here is the secret why are so important. So the first one is questions, then we have guides, but the winner overall are lists. Then the how-to, starting with all the questions, then you can create the list, are also very significant in these results. Then shares and backlinks is happening the same thing with the headline, these headline types. What about the H1? So if you have a small H1, something not really good is going to be happening with your results. As you can see here, less page views, less shares, and less backlinks. But if you have an H1, a good H1 with at least 14 words, that's going to be really good for your Facebook page views, shares, and links. What about the hierarchy between the headings? So if you have no H2 at all, so the low performance is going to be really high. If you have H2, H1, and H2 only, the performance is going to be still lower. But if you have a hierarchy containing H1, H2, H3, H4, and more, the low performance is going to be really, really low. So you're going to be having a better performance there. The medium performance, the high performance with more than H4, of course, when you are talking about the hierarchy of the content. What about the number of lists? So this is the interesting part, because when we are creating lists, something interesting can happen with our content. We can receive a lot of different results, the so-called SERP features. The most important one, the feature snippets. So that's why you can see the difference here. If the content that you are promoting, that you are writing, that you're publishing, it doesn't have any list at all, you can see the number of page views. But if the difference is, if you at least add one single list, you're gonna be having twice more, 2 times more the number of page views, which is just fantastic. So you can see the same is happening with the shares, the same is happening, something similar is happening with the backlinks. So please have at least one list if you are working with content. Then you can see the number of images. So you have no images, so less traffic, less page views, less shares, less backlinks. But if you have at least one image, the things are going to be changing a lot. 2 images, 4 images, and so on. The same thing is happening with videos. You can see if you have 0 videos, you have less page views. But if you have at least 1 video or 2 of the 3 videos, you're going to be having more page views, more shares, more backlinks. So what we can say till now, long reads are the best traffic drivers. That's why companies are using it. Then if you have an explanatory headline with containing more than 14 words, that's going to be really good. Following a question, a how-to, or a guide, something that is going to be capturing the attention of the people. A clear structure makes your content better. That's why we're talking about content hierarchy with a consistent H1, H2, H3, H4 containing images and videos. That's why visual are really good for engagement, and lists are the best one. So you can have these top results, such as the feature snippets. What about the skills that content marketers needs about to have for working in content marketing? So you can see here that social media is the main skill. So if you want to work, if you are aiming to work with content marketing, that's your main set of skills. Social media, SEO, strategy, and then you have analytics and editing skills. You have blogging as well, and you have metrics, and you have Google tools. But the first one is the possibility to share, to promote the content that you are creating, which is social media, one of the top ones. Then you can see the top 5 soft skills. The first one is leadership, respecting the deadlines, then problem solving, then writing communication, and then self-motivation. So the main takeaways from here, and I'm finishing right now, moving for the next section. So the first takeaway, social media and SEO are the key content marketing skills. So you'll have to build an informed strategy. So people are searching for this because it's hard to create a strategy for achieving your goals. And strong leaders are always in huge demand. How you can benefit from this? well, we have a set of tools that you can use, and this is the follow, and this is the workflow that you can use. First one, identifying keywords, then creating the content, then optimizing your snippet, the ones that are going to be appearing. That's why you need an H1 with a really interesting message topic with a question, a guide, or a list. Then you can analyze how to achieve that SERP feature. If you have the featured snippet, that would be great. Use lists to achieve that, and you can maximize their real estate on the SERP. Imagine that you have the first page only with your results, the domain of your web page, and the rest of social media there. Your Facebook account, your Instagram account, your Pinterest account, your Twitter account there, all in the first results of Google, which is just amazing for driving traffic to your website. And of course, having more conversations that are going to be always visible for people. Then you can see that when you're thinking about channels for content distribution, you need to think what is happening with your audience. They are in social media, or they are basically on blogs. So that's the main part of Google, right? So create content with users and search engines in mind from the first word that you are writing. And don't forget to promote content that is longer than 800 words and more than 800 words. Long reads are the winner. The visibility of your content using images, videos, that's really important. And don't forget for long tail keywords, which are the best ones to get more interesting people and more conversions. Thank you very much. That was my part. I'm passing to you, Elisa, for the next part of this presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I am sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, excellent. So Elisa Meredith here, Pinterest product specialist and marketing manager at Tailwind, and we had the privilege of looking through this study and the findings and thinking about how we could marry this to Pinterest and Pinterest marketing. So we'll review a few of the most important trends that were pulled out of that report and how you can make them work on Pinterest. So as we just heard from Fernando, visuals do increase content distribution. So if we want that up to 94% more views, we're going to be including video or images anyway. So we might as well use them on Pinterest. Knowing that posts with even just one image get 2 times as much traffic as text only and receive 30% more shares, 25% more backlinks is a compelling case on its own. But when we pair that with the power of Pinterest, it becomes kind of an essential. So a little bit about pinners. Pinners are doers. So what they're doing is they are using Pinterest as a virtual pin board to collect ideas and inspiration for future projects or future purchases, with 89% of pinners saying that they use it for purchase inspiration, 98% of pinners saying they try new things based on what they find on Pinterest. And many of us go on Pinterest looking for one thing and end up buying something else, even when we had nothing in mind for shopping. It's just the way it works. It's a great discovery engine. So why not be there? Why not have your content be there as well? Speaking of shopping, pinners are definitely shopping. The pandemic has had a tremendous impact on people's behavior and adoption of Pinterest, with over 459 million monthly active users, and the number of people engaging on shopping surfaces, as Pinterest calls them, or places where people are likely to act and purchase, grew 85% from April to October of last year and shows no signs of stopping. Now, while women do make up quite a bit more than 60% of Pinterest's global audience, men are catching on, with male pinners up nearly 50% year over year. And the numbers, the age groups on Pinterest are getting younger and younger, which I noticed before I even saw this report. But yes, definitely the largest age group is that youngest age group, 18 to 24 or so, and then goes down from there. Now, when it comes to content marketing, what pinners love, they love inspiration, they love information, and there's almost nothing better as a combination to achieve that goal than a good list. On Pinterest, infographics are incredibly popular. So if you're putting together a very useful list for your blog post, well, that's awesome, because as Semrush pointed out, a post with at least one list for every 500 words of plain text sees 70% more traffic than posts without. Could you pull those lists out of your blog post and put them in a very simple infographic as is done here? I think you probably could. And then you're going to see additional reaction from Pinterest on it. Now, the thing about Pinterest infographics is that you don't want to put everything on the infographic, because then people will just save it, keep it for later, refer to it, and then they have very little incentive to go to your site. So if you can just tease out parts of those lists on there to give people value, but show them that there's more value to get on your site, that's how you get more eyeballs on your traffic from Pinterest. Pinners love to learn as well. So Semrush named how-to and educational content as one of the most effective content marketing strategies in 2020. And that's really been the case all along, right? Give people some information and prove that you are the authority here, so that when they need something, they think of you. Well, 85% of pinners say Pinterest is where they go to start a new project. This is probably applicable to many of us here today. We're going to redo our kitchen. We're going to start a new hobby. We're going to plan a trip or a wedding. Pinterest is the place to go. Another great thing about Pinterest is that they know people and they know the trends. So they can really help us to plan our content marketing strategy, which we learned is one of the most highly sought keywords regarding Pinterest or content strategy. Last year, Pinterest had their 2020 predictions, and 80% of them came true. So one of the ones that did not come true was travel. And I think we really have to give them that one, because nobody knew what was going to happen in 2020 to travel. They have some strange ones, right? So what they're doing is they are looking at constant but slow uptick in search terms or searches for these particular terms. And they are betting with a high degree of accuracy what is going to take off in the next year. So they had a trend called rewilding, which I didn't really understand, but what it comes down to is that they predicted that people would be dedicating more time to outdoor hobbies and skills, which, hey, that's exactly what happened. We all wanted to be outdoors. So terms like hiking, fashion, and outdoor kitchen bars increased significantly. So if you're paying attention to these predictions, that can help your content to take off. It's always good to be first in on these trends. Another tool that Pinterest gives us is Pinterest Trends, and that's trends.pinterest.com. And you can see search trends for the US, the UK, and Canada here, and it will help you figure out what you should be talking about now. You can start by kind of scanning what's available on that page, but then you can enter your search term and figure out, when should I be writing about this topic? It will give you a year graph, and you'll want to pick that high point on that year graph. It's real obvious with one like Valentine's Day. So obviously this peak here would be right at Valentine's Day, but you can start to see when it starts to have an uptick, because this is when you're going to want to create and share your content on Pinterest. You can do this for most any term. Keep it a little bit general, because they don't have every term that there is, but it will also give you ideas of related terms that you may want to target instead. And that can really help you with your distribution on content on Pinterest. So getting a little deeper into how to make Pinterest work for you. When Pinterest comes up as a potential marketing channel, there are a lot of objections, understandably, but one of the biggest one is, my audience isn't on Pinterest. Well, if this isn't your audience, then maybe they're not, but there are 459 million monthly active users. So chances are they are on there in some capacity. Another one, my content isn't right for Pinterest. Well, let's look at some of the top categories and interests for Pinterest. A lot of them are what you would expect, right? Home decor, DIY, crafts, art. Travel is a little bit down the list. I bet you next year, this time, it will be way back up again. But this does reflect the interest on Pinterest. Now, if your industry is not here, that does not mean you can't make it work. So for example, finance, not in these top, but finance professionals, finance content creators have a really big audience in here. So if you can figure out how to take your content marketing and really tailor it to what Pinterest users want, which is inspiration, aspiration, information to plan their better future, then really no matter what your industry is, unless maybe it's semiconductors, you can make a success of Pinterest for your content. And that's what it's all about, getting eyeballs on your content. Now, if you're thinking, I don't have enough content for Pinterest, that may not be an issue for this group here, right? The Semrush crew. But if you're thinking, I have to pin 40 times a day, you do not. But there are ways to get more out of your existing content. And this is what we call the Pinterest formula. It was actually debuted in a Pinterest ad resource. And since then, I have run with it because it's beautiful. The idea is you take what you offer, which is your product benefit, your brand value, your idea, and you pair it with something new. So an everyday interest, a seasonal moment, a life event, and you come up with a Pinterest idea. So from one piece of content, you can come up with several different ideas, which can appeal to many different audiences and appear in many different searches on Pinterest. Now, if you want a list of contextual mindsets, everyday interests, all those good things, we have a resource you can grab at, it's a bit.ly link, and now I've covered it up and I cannot see it. So maybe someone can put that in the chat. Oh, maybe I can move it over. Oh, I can't. Okay, but just to kind of walk through how it works. Okay, the bit.ly, SEMrush-Pinterest-ideas. So let's say you have a cocktail recipe. There is this garden cherry bourbon smash cocktail that Half Baked Harvest has created or repurposed, and they have gorgeous photos of it. So it just popped up, and I thought, all right, I'm going to use this for the example. Besides, it's delicious. I had to try it after looking at it so much. But if you have this thing, this piece of content is a cocktail recipe blog post, think about who you might reach with it. Maybe someone wants to discover something exciting and new. So it's your next favorite bourbon cocktail. Maybe they want to impress their friends over the holidays, so it becomes a holiday cocktail to wow your friends. Same piece of content, similar but not the same images, but a very different focus, a very different use of keywords, and a different audience that you are trying to engage. If you're thinking, I don't have time for another platform, Pinterest is perhaps the least demanding of all that gets lumped into social, right? So you don't have to comment, you don't have to reply, you don't have to like. It is very easy compared to many of the other so-called socials. It's really not that social at this point, although Pinterest would like to make it so in the future. So at Tailwind, we developed this thing called Tailwind Create, which allows you to put in your destination link, and it will then pull out a title from your page, pull in all the photos from your page, hit a button, and it will create these branded images for you. So we did some data studies, and in one of them, we found that on average, it takes people 1.8 minutes to create a pin image via Tailwind, and compare that to 15 minutes average on other platforms. So I don't have time for another platform. It's really as simple as creating a pinnable image like this. We like the tall image with some text on it. You're already creating images because we know that has a huge impact on the amount of traffic and shares and backlinks that your content gets. So you're already doing most of that work. Another 1.8 minutes to make a pin, it can give you a ton of additional traffic. Then some people feel like, I don't want that big Pinterest image on my blog post. Understood, right? Maybe you don't want 1,000 by 1,500 image on your pin. On your post. There are tools if you use WordPress, such as Tasty Pins, where you can have a kind of a hidden pin image, and it will have the title and the description that you want. So it allows people to save from your blog post, which is really important. If you are on Pinterest now and you look at your Pinterest analytics to see which pins are doing the best, oftentimes it's pins other people have saved from your website or from Pinterest that are giving you a tremendous benefit. In fact, some people will come to me and say, I'm ready to start really doing something with Pinterest because I'm doing nothing, but I'm seeing the traffic come in from Pinterest. So they're seeing that power of Pinterest because other people are sharing their images. So we also learned in that Semrush study that 87% of marketers use social media for content distribution. I'm not sure what the other 13% are doing, but it can definitely be helpful, something you do not want to overlook. And of course, Pinterest is great for that. It's the #2 social driver of traffic, and it is the fastest growing referrer of social traffic over and above Facebook. Something that we learned just very, very recently in a data study that Tailwind did, we looked at pins in January that had over 5,000 saves, or we used to call them repins. So that means that, okay, your content is landing on Pinterest, people are seeing that content on Pinterest, and they are sharing it out. That happened 5,000 times for this list of pins we looked at. There were about, well, I don't even know how many there were for this one. So what we found is that creating a new image for a piece of content would get you 3.6 times as many repins as saving that same image over and over again. So remember we talked about how we could get more out of our content by creating new pins for that bourbon smash cocktail. Well, it's not just so we can have lots of images. It's so we get more saves, so our content continues to spread throughout Pinterest. It's not just that viral effect, which we always love, but it's the other part is that Pinterest looks at how people are receiving your content and will distribute even your original version more if they see engagement. So this illustration here, our lovely designer, Justine, she makes such beautiful pins. And then I go and make these pins in Tailwind Create, which are very pretty, but they're not our branding at all. And these are our top pins on Pinterest right now. So sometimes trying something a little different can really work. And it is just proving the point that creating a new image has an outsized impact on our success on Pinterest. Another thing that is really hot on Pinterest right now are video and story pins. And when I say hot, I mean Pinterest wants them. So they are really juicing them in the search results. And what we found when we identified those pins that had over 5,000 saves in January, 30% of those were videos, and a kind of shocking number of them were TikTok videos. So can you repurpose content that you were creating elsewhere for Pinterest? Yes, you can. Now, if you're not on Pinterest, your business isn't suited to Pinterest, to TikTok, we can still learn a lot from what's succeeding there. And what it is how-tos. It's step-by-step things people can act on. Now, a story pin does not have a link. It is not going to directly help your traffic to your content. However, it does have the effect of lifting up your entire account. So it builds followers, it builds awareness of your business, which then can lead to more downstream traffic. Another funny thing we found, weren't expecting to find this at all, but claiming your website on Pinterest has an incredible impact on the number of saves your pin gets. So how far your content really goes on Pinterest. What we found is that among those who had high engagement rates, like way higher than anybody else, had verified their domains at a rate of 80%. So looking at consistent underperformers, only 3% of those people had claimed their websites. So it's kind of a question of, well, what comes first? Because when you do claim your website, every pin that goes out, no matter who saves it, is going to be attributed to you. So what that means is, here in this case, Christy saved this pin, but this was Emily's pin. She wrote this content. So Emily gets this byline and a follow button. If you don't claim your website, this is gone, and Christy gets the follow button. So gathering those engaged followers in this way is incredibly powerful. So if you are on Pinterest or you're getting on Pinterest, do not skip this step. It's pretty easy, or you can send it to your web person. Again, we do want to grow that engaged follower count, mostly because of that engagement signal to Pinterest, which will help our content be distributed more. So when we looked at, do followers matter on Pinterest, I think that we all wanted the answer to be no. But the truth is, the answer seems to be yes. So we looked again at those pins, and we found that high performers had an average of 50,000 followers. That's a lot of followers. So how can we get those? We don't want to buy them. We never want to buy followers. We know that, but we want to get really engaged followers. You can do things like adding pop-ups like this one here, Milo Tree. I don't get paid to say this. I just love love this plugin for WordPress, which will allow you to capture people where they're already engaging and loving your content, and then bring them to Pinterest where they will likely engage more. And that's how you get your followers up. Being consistent is important on Pinterest. So Pinterest would rather you save out a few pins every day throughout the week rather than sitting down and doing 30 at once. So with that in mind, we have Tailwind. So you can generate your schedule. And again, we talked about how Pinterest looks at people's reaction to your pins. They look at your followers' reaction to your pins. So we have a thing called Smart Schedule that looks at your audience and when they are likely to be on and engaged, and suggests times for you to post then. So highly recommended that you don't do the pinning flurry, but rather kind of keep it consistent. Even better than that, when you can design, schedule, and publish all in one place, that again is where Tailwind comes in, and Tailwind makes it so easy. You create the image, you send it to your schedule, out it goes. And we always need to know what's working. So Pinterest analytics are fantastic. They are also complicated. So in your Tailwind dashboard, there is something called the top pins report, which will let you see what is working as far as impressions, close-ups, saves, and then most importantly, clicks. The thing that Tailwind Analytics does that Pinterest doesn't is figures out the save and click rate for you, so you can analyze that as well. And I just want to point out that these 1, 2, 3, 4 top pins are Tailwind Create pins. Sorry, designers, you guys are awesome. But for some reason, these are really working right now. So I encourage you to get started with Tailwind. If you do upgrade, you will save $30 on the annual plan, which is $119 for the year. And in the process, you will be able to use Tailwind Create. You get 15 free images per month, and that will just continue to reset every month, even if you never upgrade. So I had to test it out for myself, right? And my test reveals it works really, really well. So I'd love to have you try it out and let me know what you think.
Thank you very much, Elisa.
You're welcome.
That was fantastic. A lot of people, they're just amazed with the content that you shared. A lot of good feedback here, and we have, of course, some questions. And guys, we're starting right now our Q&A session. So you have 15 minutes to ask your questions. So please use the chat that we have here, and in this platform at the right of your screen, and please ask all the questions. I'm going to be starting from the question that we received for you, Elisa. So great. I'm going to start from the last one. So Jason Massier is asking, what plugin or service are you using for on-page social media sharing? I had mixed results with page speed and other issues with those sorts of plugins.
Okay, let me look that up for you, because I don't directly manage our blog now, but I will grab that for you because I have had issues as well. But there's one I like. I'll figure out what it is.
Perfect. So Jason, so be online. Then I have another from Vivek. I believe that's for us. Shall we the index tags page in news website? Yes, we have that question here. Well, I will not recommend anyone to the index any page, but the situation here is if you have a news website, you're going to have a lot of URLs, a lot of tags, and you need to be, if you're having an issue there, I will always recommend, of course, to go and check what is happening with your Google News sitemap, what is happening in your Google News Publisher Center. And if you have some problems there, you just need to check what is the main problem. If there is cannibalization, if you are having problems with the crawl budget, you need to understand what is happening. At some point, I believe for e-commerce websites, you need to index some pages just to not compete with other ones inside your website. But first, check what is happening inside. What is the issue? Okay, let's go with other questions that we have here.
I have an answer for the plugin. The social share plugin is Grow by Mediavine.
Oh, fantastic! Grow by Mediavine. Okay, so Jason, that's your answer. It's in WordPress. Jason is telling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sure. Okay, so I have another one for you, Lisa. This from Through the Stone. Do people typically buy services on Pinterest, or is it better for physical products?
So for services, I highly recommend you use Pinterest to get them to your website and on your email list, because 97% of the searches people do on Pinterest are unbranded, which means that they're sending a lot of new traffic to your website, people who don't know you yet. So if you can get them on that email list quickly from Pinterest, that's going to be your best bet.
Fantastic. Thank you. And let's go with the next question. This is from Jane Brownie. She was giving us great feedback here. And another one, which is basically for us as well. What are long tail keywords? So yes, this is a really good question, because you need to have the focus on what your users are searching, how your users are searching for something. For example, if you have a store and you're selling bicycles, you cannot create your content around the word bicycle, because it's too generic, it's too big. You can see there's going to be a lot of results that are not related to products, are going to be more related to leisure, to tourism, and different stuff. So you need to concentrate on the keywords that are more related to your products or services. Or for example, mountain bicycles and the name of the brand, or the serial number of that bicycle. So something that people are going to be searching for sure from your store or from their needs. Summer bicycle with aluminum wheels or something specific. So it's going to be a more specific search query that you can easily identify using tools, for example, like Keyword Magic tool. Just put there the generic word bicycle, just press on questions, and you're going to be receiving all the questions that people are asking around bicycles. So what type of bicycles do you need, or how to find the best bicycle in your town. So let's go with the next question. Let me go here. Yeah, so I have one here from Robert Skinner. I love Tailwind and I'm using the free portion. Is there a promotion to upgrade? Alyssa, that's for you for sure.
Yes, so we had on that very last slide, get started with Tailwind and save $30. So there is a QR code. I don't know if you have a link for that as well.
Yeah, we can share that.
Okay. Yep.
So just pay attention to the chat. Thank you, Robert. The next question again is for you, Alyssa, from Andy. Okay. Is it best to spread yourself through multiple social media channels, or to one of few? It is the later. Which ones?
Okay, so all right, do we want to do all of them a little bit, or a few of them really, really well? I feel like it really depends on your audience. So a really good combination for many brands is Instagram and Pinterest, right? So you have that one side where it's very much about that growing that know, like, and trust factor, as well as that awareness of your products and your services. And then on the other hand, you have Pinterest, which is a search engine, which can really grow your brand awareness and feed into that Instagram. That can be a really great combination for you. But there's also something to be said for at least having a presence on the other socials. And again, it is so dependent on what kind of content you're sharing sharing that it's hard to say. But I would say figure out which are the most important two, make those work together, and just maintain a presence on the other until you can figure out which is the best mix for you.
Fantastic. The next one from Samia. Is there any particular plugin in WordPress that hides the large image meant for Pinterest?
Yes, there is, and it is called Tasty Pins.
That's your answer, Samia? It is. There is a WordPress plugin for everything. So
there is.
You just need,
so true.
Yes. The next one I believe is again for you, from Vivek. How a news website can use Pinterest?
Okay. This is a little bit tricky because our content on Pinterest tends to last forever and to spread. So if you're talking about current event news, it's a little hard. But if your news website also features like local tourist spots, places to go for dinner, things like that, that can be really effective on Pinterest because people are planning to travel on there. They're even planning for their local area, what to do there. So I would concentrate on what you have that is evergreen and share that there as a way to inspire people to do something new.
Great. Thank you very much. Next question. Oh, we have a lot of questions.
Oh, good.
Okay, yes, that's always good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have from OK Boomer. As a new blogger, what are some things which I should focus mainly? So as a new blogger, you need to focus basically on the topics, on the main topic that you want to talk about. So you will have more resources, more topics to continue talking about for the next year or years to come. So that's going to be the source of inspiration for attracting new visitors, new readers to your blog. So for doing that, I will definitely recommend to use tools, of course. And one of the tools that we have for doing that is the SEO Writing Assistant, working together with the content template. So you will find more information about what is around a certain topic. So we have this tool that is called Topic Research, SEO Content Template, and SEO Writing Assistant. Topic Research, you want to talk about, let's say, cryptocurrency. You want to talk about face masks. You're working in the health industry. But you need to be sure if this topic is enough or it has enough clusters of subtopics to write about the next year or the next 2 years or the next 3 years. So people, you need to find out if people are interested in this specific topic and how many people are interested. The next thing is to write for Google with all the keywords, all the H1s, all the tags that you need to keep there with the SEO content template. And the next thing is to write that content with a beautiful structure, the hierarchy, H1, H2, H3, using images, lists, and of course, some videos. Anything maybe you want to add, Alyssa?
No, I think that's smart. Although I do think you could also add to your tools, the Pinterest Trends tool as well. Plug in your keywords and see what related topics come up.
Yeah, to understand what's going to be happening with your readers. They're going to be engaged, or how you can engage them more. Yeah. Next question, Smile for Traveler is asking, how important is to pin content from others and participate in group boards? Mm-hmm. I heard that this was important, but something has changed?
Yeah, so let's handle the group boards question first. So a group board is a board that you can allow people to join, then everyone kind of shares their content in, and then the members of the group see that content in their home feeds a lot of times. How it used to work is that if you're in a group with 10 people, you share your content in, everyone who follows those 10 people is likely going to see your content in their feed. It does not work that way anymore. Pinterest said, hey, this isn't how we built this, isn't how we meant it to be used, so no more distribution. So really, it's limited to the people in that group board. If you have a group of people who do share out from that board, that's great. That's very rare. I highly recommend Tailwind communities instead, because people put in their content and share out what they want. How important is it to pin content from others? Important for what, I would say? really, you do not have to share anyone else's content ever. It's not a matter of people coming and looking and thinking, oh, Smile for Travel, they're all about themselves and only sharing their own content. That's not how it works. So concentrate on your own content. That said, people on Pinterest tend to want to help others and to share their content as well. They may also want to share it for themselves to read later. So you can absolutely do it. Just know that the biggest impact is going to come from sharing your own content.
Perfect. Fantastic. So let's go with the next question. Yes, the fashion assassin. If you are in, yeah, that's a cool nickname. If you are in a field like fashion or beauty, how can we use lists and infographics in our Pinterest marketing strategies?
Oh, yeah, I love this. So there are kind of endless possibilities here, right? Like maybe the products you need to have a perfect smoky eye, if that's a thing anymore, or like Pinterest fashion trends are intense. So I would definitely go to Pinterest, to trends.pinterest.com, see what's trending in fashion or beauty, and make a list out of that, and then make an infographic. So it might be nails are always trending on Pinterest. So I'm going to actually pull that up, and I'm going to look and see what is trending for fashion. We have mom jeans, grunge. Okay, mom jeans. There's a good one, right? So you could put together an outfit in several pieces of what to wear with mom jeans, right? So just kind of isolated images of the products and give people an idea of how they could put together a really fabulous outfit.
Great, thank you very much. A lot of questions for Pinterest. Actually, Pinterest is a very interesting platform because you can get so much doing. Well, you need to work at least, but you don't need to invest so much time as you need to invest in other platforms, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a really great point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go with the next one. It's for Ajos Supanko. Fernando, any trends on the image themes for 2020, 2021? Well, actually, I need to say here, no idea what's going to be the trends for this year. Alisa, maybe you can help me with this.
On image themes? Okay. Well, let's pull up Pinterest predicts, and I bet we're going to find something because they always have idea.
Yes.
Okay, so Pinterest predicts. We can sort it by audience or category. As far as, so we don't have like specific about the image style itself, but I often find that the other themes can help you with that. So we've got band is bland, spicy. So we're going to go a little spicy with our colors. A lot about neon. So I would try some neon images in your content. Let's see what else we have. Planet is the new playground. Let's see. Japandi is the new modern. I don't know what that is, but it's likely an aesthetic that you could try in your images. That was Japandi. Indie decor. So that's how I would use it. Rain brows. So I don't know, something about eyebrows. Forget that one. Let's go with not being bland, spice it up, and try some neons. That's what I'm getting from that.
Perfect. Let's go with a couple more last questions because we're right on time. Thank you all for coming to this presentation. We're going to be sending a follow-up email with our slides as well. Let's go with Jamestown awning and party tents. Nice. Do you have any advice in using infographics? You want to give information on the image, but not too much that they don't click to read the article. Yeah.
So yes, you could have, maybe you have a list article, and we already learned how great lists will do for your content. So maybe you have 10 items in your list and you share 5 of them in your infographic and say, get the other 5 now. Like, you won't believe the last one, just to get people to know that, yes, there's great information here. It is useful. I want to save it, but I also need the rest of them.
Perfect. Let's go with the next one. It is yes, EBB and flow. Is it beneficial for brands on Pinterest to repin images onto boards from other websites, or is it really only beneficial to constantly create fresh pins that link directly to your web through your own site?
Yeah, so the real benefit comes from creating your fresh pins that link directly to your website. And I would caution there too that we don't want to go crazy creating very similar pins for the same piece of content so that every time someone searches a certain keyword, all they see are our pins. That's not a great user experience. But instead, if you can take that formula and add your product or your service to a contextual moment, right? Make it a unique idea and then serve that up on Pinterest. That can work really well.
Perfect. And let's go with the last question.
Okay.
It's from Diane Stefanian. I like the Tailwind app for Instagram and Pinterest. Will the smart be on the Instagram program allow you to put links in your post to products that will take a viewer to my website to purchase?
Yeah, so it doesn't do like product tagging. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but you can absolutely put a link to your product in your link in your smart bio.
Fantastic. Oh, so that's going to be the last question. If you want to ask more questions, you can follow Alisa. You can follow me on Twitter. I believe we can leave it here as well. You will be receiving the presentation through email. And thank you very much for this time. Thank you, Alisa, for all the data, all the knowledge that you share with us. And thank you, everyone. Have a great day and see you soon.